What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with I don't really know how to frame this video. I don't know I don't know if this is like a confession, a cry for help, a luxury fashion haul. What it's probably going to look like is a brag, and honestly, or an attempted flex. That's honestly the last thing I'm really trying to do here. What I'm really trying to do is illustrate what I think has become a genuine problem that at this point is kind of has gone beyond me and now involves my wife. It's probably a cry for help. I don't think that there's really a good solution for the situation that I and now my wife we've kind of gotten ourselves into. So everybody who's been watching my channel knows that I have massive addiction problems. I have an extremely addictive personality. But I think what people don't understand is that there's like, it's like everything's on a spectrum these days, right? Like there's varying degrees of what it means to have an addictive personality. There's people out there who are just addicted to like one drug. Like they just can't put one drug down. Or they're just alcoholics, or they're just workaholics. And they seem to have one thing, and if they can kind of conquer or beat that thing, they seem to be relatively good. Then there's those of us who, like in my case, like I've been addicted to tons of different substances. What I didn't realize is that my addictive personality is so strong. My desire for chasing dopamine is what this really, I think, boils down to, is so depraved that it really knows no bounds. It's not about like a particular drug. Of course, everyone I think would agree that I have a steroid addiction. What I really have, plain and simply, is an addiction to dopamine and maybe even adrenaline, norepinephrine, oxytocin, possibly. It's multifaceted, okay? And so what I thought, so I'm always basically trying to come up with novel ways to control my addictive personality. Steroids doesn't cut it. Like, it would be great if doing gear just satisfied my urges and that was it. I will admit that it's possible that some of the ways that I use gear could be exacerbating the problem. For example, because I run 19 Nor drugs, primarily Trenbolone constantly, I take a drug called cabergoline. And dopamine agonists are known for causing compulsive behaviors. One of them is compulsive gambling. I actually used to take a drug called ropinirole for restless legs, and the psychiatrist that initially wrote it to me went through this extreme vetting process to make sure that I didn't have any gambling problems. And he was like, you need to be very aware of this. This drug has literally caused people who had never really had gambling issues in their lives to like bet the farm at Vegas. And so he's like, you have to be very self-aware of this or you could get yourself into a lot of trouble. Cabergoline may be fueling my sort of compulsions that lead to addictive personalities. So what I eventually figured out is that I can feed the addictive side of my brain through shopping. I used to be a very selfish shopper. I have every toy you can imagine. Like I got to a point over a year ago where I literally just ran. I couldn't find things to buy for myself at that stage of the game, I thought, at least. I had every little toy that you could possibly want. TVs, just everything. There's no point in naming it. And at some point, I guess what the initial trigger was I got the wild idea to buy my daughter her first purse. And I wanted to buy her kind of a nice purse. Nothing like crazy. And so, well, I guess it's crazy, but she was like 6 years old at the time, I think. And I went out and I bought her this like $350 Tory Burch purse. This is a cute little Tory Burch purse. Nothing spectacular, nothing crazy expensive. Way too expensive for a 6-year-old, obviously. And we had we had a really fun time shopping to it. We went to a bunch of different boutiques. We looked at everything from Versace to Dior. We looked at a lot of different things. And, you know, I was at least at that point semi-sane and chose only a $350 purse for my 6-year-old daughter. And my wife, she kind of admitted like that it was a lot of fun, and she was kind of jealous. You know, she was like, it was really fun to get to watch Allison get all this attention. These people are waiting on her, shopping for all these lovely things. There's this great mall in DFW called North Park Center. They've got a lot of nice stores in there. And so that's where it started. And you guys know, if you like I said, if you've been following the channel, I'll post the video at the end of this. Toward the end of my wife and I's travel period, my career break, as they call it, I took a career break and got into our retirement. And for Christmas, basically, from like October to December of, I think it was 2023, we spent a little over $40,000 on luxury goods. Now, you would think that would be the end of it, right? Like, how could you spend $40,000 in a 3-month period and have anything left to buy? Well, I hate to break it to you. The people who run these fashion boutiques, they know exactly what they're doing. And so every season, new products come out, and they are of limited quantity, and they're a limited time only, and once they're gone, they're gone. You can never get them again. And that plays heavily into my addictive personality, because along with compulsions and addictions, I have an extreme fear of loss. If I get my heart set on something and I really want it, the thought of it disappearing and never coming back again is excruciating for me to cope with. And it's caused me to get sucked into buying things that we absolutely don't need just because I fell in love with it, couldn't let go of it, knew it was going to disappear, and this happened. So I've been doing pretty good for a while. Probably just because there wasn't literally any money. I had blown through all of our money, and I couldn't buy things. And for reasons that aren't important, we came into some money recently, and I lost control again. There's your ASMR sip for those of you who enjoy that kind of thing. So over the course of the last, going on 3 weeks now, or a little bit more, I had what is the equivalent of a drug addict falling off, or an alcoholic falling off the wagon, a drug addict, backsliding. I completely backslid into my shopping addiction in a major, major way. And so I'm going to, for the sake of exposing how bad this is, show you what I just got through doing. And that's why I said, I know this kind of looks like a flex. Fuck it, maybe it is. I gotta have something to show for the fact that I went on a massive, basically, shopping bender that started not at what this video is probably titled. There is a pair of sandals by a luxury brand called Hermes, or I think it's Hermes, I believe is the way you pronounce that. And I've talked about this on my Discord. I think I've talked about it on my YouTube channel. They're just these really basic sandals that are very, very popular. I desperately wanted to get them for my wife. She was really not into them. And over a period of many, many months, I basically wore her down. And so I said, hey, spring's coming, summer's here, whatever. You've got all these pretty, summer dresses, and then you're wearing these junky flip-flops with them. We've got a couple of bucks right now. Let's just go and get you these sandals that I've had my eye on for a long time. So these are the sandals. They're by a company called, by the fashion house Hermes. And they are the Oran, I think is how you say it, Oran sandals, O-R-A-N. They used to retail for, I think they started somewhere around $700. They're now up to $850 a pair. And I have just been dying to buy. See, my camera's going to constantly focus my face. I have been desperately waiting to buy these for my wife. She was not really into them. I convinced her to go to the store and look at them. She fell in love, and we got them, which was the beginning of the end, honestly. So when the way this process works, the way this addiction works is it's multifaceted. There's layers to it. So I will start the process by just kind of casually looking at various brands, usually Chanel, Dior, Gucci, Hermes, Christian Louboutin, that's Louis Vuitton. Those are like the major ones that I get the news. I get my emails full of marketing from these brands nonstop because I've spent way too much money with them. And so there's constantly something teasing me, hey, come look at this. And so I will get chemicals from searching for products. I basically know everything that's in my wife's closet because I picked the vast majority of it out. And so I can be laying in bed at night, or sometimes even at work. It happens all the time. And I'll see something, or I'll just, sometimes I'll have like invasive addiction thoughts where like I'll suddenly think of a dress that, like, again, like for example, she bought these summer dresses. And then there's this voice in my head that just goes, oh my God, those orange sandals would look really great with those dresses. And like this is the perfect time. And like now you can probably talk her into it. When you were trying to sell them on her before, it was like into the winter, she's not really wearing sandals. She didn't need it. Now it's probably like, this is probably prime time to convince her to make this purchase. Because, I mean, let's be honest. There are a pair of sandals that cost $850. It's insane. I'm not saying that it's not insane. It's totally, completely insane. But they're beautiful. And they are what they are, and they hold value, and I am addicted to it. So it starts with me finding things, and then when I find something that I want to buy her, it becomes like a little checkbox. It becomes like a little bucket list, basically. I have this constant in my brain, like, list of items. Like most people might have guys, you guys might have like a list of guns you want to buy, or places you want to visit, or whatever your thing is. You've probably got in your mind a list of things that you would like to acquire, things you would like to accomplish, experiences you'd like to have. My brain is basically full of all of these items that I would like to buy for my wife. Because what I figured out is the best way to have an addiction is to have a guilt-free addiction. When I was doing drugs, or when I was shopping for myself, and Amazon's at the house every day with a new pair of speakers, a new monitor, a drone, a camera, a new camera lens. Tens of thousands of dollars are going out of the house, and it's all for me. And there's enjoyment in that because I'm getting all these toys that I want. But what I found out is that there's an extra set of chemicals that you can get. You can actually enhance the addiction even more when you're a shopping addict if you buy for someone else, especially like your partner. So when I buy for her, one part of it is I don't have to feel guilty. I'm giving her a present. Why would I feel guilty? I'm giving her a really nice gift that a lot of people around the world envy, that they really desire these goods. A lot of people will never in the world ever be able to afford one of these items, much less what I'm about to show you. And so I can feel guilt-free in feeding this addiction. Plus, I get to make her smile. She gets excited. I get to basically sell her. So I show her something. She's like, oh, I don't know. That is cute. How much is it? Oh my God, we don't need that. Mike, we can't afford that. Mike, where am I going to wear that? Well, that's what I was thinking. What if you wore this shoe with that person, that dress? And then I get to watch her face light up when she's like, oh my God, you're right. That would look really cute. That could be really fun. And so it's this whole sickness. It's this thing where I find an object, I create this checkbox. Now I've got to sell her on the idea of buying it. Then we've got to go to the store to find out if she actually likes it in reality. Because sometimes you see something online, it looks a certain way. You imagine it's going to fit a kind of way. You have this expectation. They don't always live up to expectation. So you got to go to the store to make sure she really likes it. Find the right fit, And then you go through the process of trying to accept the fact that, okay, I'm actually getting ready to spend $850 on a fucking pair of sandals. I could have funded my kids' first year at 2 Ivy League colleges by now with all of the money that we have spent on just the most obscene material possessions. Like, in reality, these things shouldn't have the value that they do, but they do have value. And that's the thing that can get me sucked in when I can go see a pair of shoes, you know, that's like been worn for a year or year and a half and is on some secondhand website for 70% of the retail cost. It's like, damn. I mean, if I can buy my wife a pair of $900 pumps and she can have the luxury of wearing the cutest, newest thing on the market for a year and then get 70% of our money back at the end of the year when she retails it, you know, or she saves it for our daughter or whatever, you know, you can get your money back or some of your money back out of the deal to put toward the next purchase. I mean, this machine just keeps feeding itself. And so at this point, as you can tell from the way I'm behaving, I'm a complete goner. Like, this is a full-blown addiction in every sense of the word. You can hear the justifications. You can hear all the hallmark signs of a person who's in the throes of addiction, from the justifications to the excuses, the you know, the way you move things around in your head to account for what, to make something that is just completely absurd seem practical, logical, and reasonable. It's not. It's insane. It's totally insane, especially given the fact that we're not millionaires. You know, it's one thing if you're a multi-millionaire and you can go buy Chanel and Dior and all these things and it's not costing your family anything. I mean, I just start putting myself in credit card debt. That's the problem at this point. Before I was spending liquid cash. Now I'm actually starting to get, this addiction is starting to get to the point where I'm developing credit card debt. Luckily, at this point, I'm not carrying debt over, but we're gaining on a point where I could be paying interest on my addiction, which is why I'm making this video, because this is like the end stage. Like, this is where you have to get a grip. Like, this is like intervention time. You cannot shop to the point that you are maxing out credit cards that you're just buried in interest. And so to move things along, that's how the addiction works. And then once we make the purchase, then I get the chemicals from making the purchase. I get the chemicals from watching her wear it. So she puts on a brand new a brand new pair of Christian Louboutin heels with her perfect looking legs, and we go walking through North Park Center, and every head turns. I mean, it's I'm not exaggerating. The looks I get looks for being big in general. The heads are just turning. There's so much attention. How can that not feel good? We bought her a new pair of shoes that I'll show you in a minute. Just today, we walked from Christian Louboutin to get something to eat. The amount of attention these shoes were getting was ridiculous. And then I heard a girl behind me go, "Oh my God, look at those heels." And I turned around and she was pointing at my wife's shoes. Okay? Like, this just feeds these chemicals that I'm addicted to. And so then what happens is, once a purchase is made and I post it on Instagram, or, you know, she wears it out a couple of times, then you start to go through the crash, where now you're looking to feed this again. Now if you have another item in the list, now starts the process of me trying to sell her on the item. If I don't have more items in the list, now starts the process of me trying to build up a new list, find new items so that I can keep the ball rolling. So I'm gonna have to timestamp this video because I'm sure some of you only came to see the lovely items. So if you came here to see what I've bought my wife in the last 3 months, I'm gonna show you a bunch of things, but this is, to begin with, this is basically where we've been for the past little while. I am going to start it off with the first pair of heels that I bought her from Christian Louboutin. These are a bit older. This particular item it represents one of the times where I kind of went beyond my own rules. I usually try to keep the purchase amount to a reasonable level. I know that sounds, none of it's reasonable, but when I saw these shoes when these shoes came out, I knew the second I laid eyes on him, Freudian slip. I knew the second I laid eyes on these shoes, they were going on my wife's feet. These shoes were going, I love these shoes so much, they were going on her feet whether she liked them or not. Thank God she fell in love with them the second she saw them. These are the Christian Louboutin Apostropha Petunia. They have like a see-through, I gotta keep my face off of this, a see-through, let me get this camera right there. They're kind of see-through. They have like a PVC that makes them a little bit see-through, and they look like flower petals. They've got the red heel. We have like this terrible heel sole protector because we just now found out. I have an amazing client advisor. I'm not gonna give her full name because she probably doesn't want to be associated with this channel, but her name is Emma. She works for Christian Louboutin in North Park Center, and she just alerted us to the fact that the new Christian Louboutin shoes are coming with you can get them with a forever sole so that you don't lose the signature red, and they're kind of like slip resistant, and we found out that we can actually get our older shoes sent off to Paris, I think it is, to Christian Louboutin, and they will put the forever heel sole on an older pair of shoes. So if you didn't know that, you don't have to buy these terrible looking stick-ons from Amazon because there is a solution where you can keep the beautiful red on the bottom of the shoes. So this is the Petunia that I absolutely fell in love with. She loves them. She wears them all the time. The second pair that I got her, we actually went to the store. This is after I bought the Orin sandals that I just showed you. I think I'm gonna have to pause this video and get this stupid face tracker off. After I bought the Orin sandals, we went next door to Christian Louboutin because why not, right? We just spent $850 on a pair of sandals, and I thought let's at least go see what they have in store. And what we went to actually look at is a pair of Christian Louboutin pumps called the Hot Chick. But I had also had my eye on another pair that is called the Ariza. This is the Christian Louboutin Ariza pump. This shoe here is unique because on this side it looks like a standard pump. You've got the patent leather, and then the toe box, and the vamp is really low right here. But on the inside, it's kind of scalloped or scooped or something to where you can basically it's cut to where you can basically completely see the wearer's arch. My wife has really, really beautiful feet, and so the thing with Christian Louboutin is his entire vision is about sex. It's about sex and sex appeal. He wants to make ladies' shoes that make them look sexy or that enhances their sexuality. And so a lot of his shoes have very high stilettos. This is a 100mm stiletto. And they accentuate, so that like when my wife puts these on, she has phenomenal looking calves to begin with. And she's got these big long legs. She's 5'9". And so she just absolutely has legs for fucking days in these shoes. And her arches look incredibly sexy in the Christian Louboutin Ariza. So this is the kind of the shoe that you wear when you basically want to accentuate the foot. If you're wanting the focus to be on your foot or on her foot, the Christian Louboutin Ariza does a really great job of giving you that, because again, it's got this cut here that allows the arch to be very visible. So we got those shoes. So that was like day one. We bought the Hermes flats, the little sandals, and then we bought the Arizas. And I got home and I posted pictures of them to Instagram, and honestly, I was like sick. I was like sick because that day in the store, she'd also tried on the Hot Chicks. And the hot chick, to me, the shoe itself is just one of the sexiest. It's one of the sexiest pumps I've ever seen in my life. Like I am so obsessed. My audience is like, what has happened to this guy? How did he go from making trend rant videos to just gushing over women's high heels? Admittedly, I do have a foot fetish. I'm sure that plays heavily into this. Let me get another sip. So we get home, and I post pictures, which is a brag, to Instagram, going, look at these beautiful shoes that I bought. I actually bought a Mont Blanc pen that night as well that I don't have on me. I don't think I've showed that. So in one day's time, I spent $850 on a pair of Hermes flats. I got the Christian Louboutin Irizas, which retail for like, thank you baby, which retail for like $865, $895. They're just south of $900. You call it $900. That's where the Irizas are. I don't know if I'll get this to be able to. This is my Mont Blanc pen. It's from the Around the World series, and this is hopeless with this stupid thing. It's got a little heart right there, if you can see that. And so it was our anniversary, and I bought this pen because, see, it's impossible for my wife to shop for me because I'm so particular. And so what I do when I want a gift is I pick out the gift, and then my wife can give it to me from her. See how that works? Then I always get what I want. And so I decided I needed a nice pen because why not, right? And so this pen was like $895, I think. Like it was over 8, under 9. And it has a heart on it, and I told her, you can give me this pen for our anniversary, so no matter where I go around the world, it's around the world in 80 days is the styling, wherever I go around the world, I'll always be carrying your heart right next to mine. Ha! How about that? So now this pen has become my wife's 10-year anniversary gift to me, and so that's how the addiction works. How do you justify having a fucking Mont Blanc pen that costs $900? Well, you justify it by saying this is made out of metal and it's your 10-year anniversary, which I'm pretty sure is a metal gift, and it's got a heart on it, and so it represents my wife giving me her heart to carry with me around the world at all times, and the addiction continues. So in that one day, I bought like a $900 pen, a $900 pair of Hermes sandals, and a $900 pair of Christian Louboutin Ariza pumps. That's a wrap, guys. That should have been a wrap on the shopping experience, but it wasn't. I'm actually going to bring up the website here so I don't misquote prices, just in case anybody actually cares about that, because I'm about to have to cut this for my camera. So the Ariza, for anybody who really wants to know, is $845. And we got the 100 millimeter size, a stiletto size. It comes in 85 and 100, and we went with the 100. We probably, honestly, maybe should have gone with the 85. They are incredibly sexy shoes, very, very, very difficult to walk in. So the first time she wore her Christian Louboutin Irizas, we went out to Maggiano's for dinner and drinks. She walked from the car and to the restaurant, which was like one corner around the mall, and she was dying in these shoes. So her feet were killing her, and that is one of the things about Christian Louboutin that a lot of people don't like, and it's one of the things that to some degree limits his brand, is because his focus is on beauty. His focus is on making the sexiest, classiest, most beautiful shoe he can buy, not the most comfortable shoe that he can build, not buy. Not the most comfortable shoe, and so you sometimes you have to suffer to enjoy this level of craftsmanship.
But my feet weren't actually hurting them. My ankles were giving way. My ankles are giving way because they're like they're like this for so long when we walked, like we were parked as far from the restaurant as we could possibly be, and still be at the mall. And so by the time we got there, my ankles were like shaking.
So because of the 100 millimeter heel, which I don't know how many inches that is, somebody do a conversion. You're on your tippy toes. She's walking on her toes all the way through the mall. And so she basically is getting shin splints to some degree or another. And so on the way back to the car, she literally so we buy a pair of $845 shoes. She walks one direction through the mall to the restaurant. We eat. She walks about a quarter of the way back, and then she's like, I'm done. She takes the shoes off. I carry them through the mall. She walks barefoot through the mall the rest of the way to the car. Some people have called Christian Louboutin shoes stand-up, sit-down shoes. And they can definitely be that. Do not fool yourself. By and large, these are not comfortable shoes. These are shoes that you wear from the car to your seat. From the car to the event where you're going to do a lot of standing around and a lot of sitting down. You do not want to be going on an all-day shopping spree walking through the mall in Christian Louboutin Arises unless you are some kind of a masochist. And maybe once she gets used to it, maybe once the muscles in her legs, it's just like if you go roller skating, you're going to be dying. That's not going to feel good either. If you go snow skiing, whatever, it could just be that, she's going to have to develop some walking muscles to accommodate that particular heel. But nevertheless, I got home and I was looking at pictures that I posted of the Arises that I bought her, and then I kept looking at pictures of the Hot Chicks, and for me, the Hot Chick is just a sexier looking shoe. I think it is the sexiest looking. Certainly, if you're talking about patent leather, tall pumps, I don't think you can do better than Christian Louboutin Hot Chick, which is this shoe right here. Let me get this white thing out of it because it takes away from its allure. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, so this is what makes the shoe so sexy. This little scallop here, I kind of imagine it's like an upside down bat. I feel like they have like a kind of a bat wing look to them. This is the Christian Louboutin. I'm hiding the beautiful stiletto. This is the Christian Louboutin Hot Chick. This is a 100 millimeter stiletto with, of course, the signature red soles. And this shoe here, in my estimation, is one of the sexiest women's shoes ever made. I posted pictures of her wearing them with her. So we go to the store to pick these to get these shoes. And she's got at home, she wore, I see I'm all over the place. We went to the store to get these shoes for my lovely client advisor, Emma. And while we're there, my wife notices that the Hot Chick comes in a patent leather, like super, super hot pink color. And she has a pink Chanel purse that she felt like would be a great match if she wanted to kind of spice up an outfit. So obviously, like when we went to the store, she was wearing a very nice sequin black, like ball gown, like a evening gown kind of dress. And so the black patent leather Hot Chicks with her black sequin dress creates a very, very elegant, very sexy, very classy look, which I love, and there's a time and place for it. But one of the things about my wife and why we love this brand is because we like to really kind of show off. We like to spice things up. We like to make a statement. And so if you pair a nice, sexy black dress with a hot pink purse and hot pink pumps, you have a much more eye-popping, flirty, sexy, but like really attention-grabbing look. And so if you want to be a little bit less quiet, what's it called? Quiet fashion? What? Quiet something? Yeah. It's, I think it was quiet something else. Anyway, I don't know what the term was. maybe it's quiet fashion. I don't know. That's one of the things that's been popular for the last several years, is this like less in your face kind of luxury branding. So like Chanel's real into this quiet luxury or whatever it's called.
Quiet luxury, also known as stealth wealth or old money style.
Quiet luxury, also known as stealth wealth. We are not about stealth wealth. We are very much about, ha ha ha, look at us. To me, if you're gonna, so this pair of pumps right here that we bought, the Christian Louboutin Ariza, Hot Chick, retails for $8.95. And so we picked these up the other day, and when we were in the store buying them, she saw the pink ones. She tried the pink ones on. She really, really wanted them. I think she was actually planning on buying the pink ones that day against I really wanted her to have the black. Basically, she was getting the black. Even if she had bought the pink, I was going to have to buy the black. And so kind of what I wanted to do is, just so you know, if I'm sucking you into this, there are certain styles or silhouettes, I think they call them, that are what's called classics. So they're available year round. So like there's no rush to buy a black patent leather pair of Hot Chicks because they're always going to be available. However, they do take their classic silhouettes and seasonally bring them out in different colors and designs. So in the store, she wanted to buy the hot pink ones, and so I took a picture. I have a picture of her Chanel purse on my phone, and we compared the two pinks. And in the store and on the phone picture, the two pinks looked like they just really did not match at all. And so we were like, okay, let's not do that. Let's be safe. Let's get the black Hot Chicks that we came to get, which is where I should have let things lie, but I didn't. I kind of started wandering around, and I found they had display, and on the display they had last season's styles that did not sell out, and they will put them on a small discount relatively. So I saw in the for sale section this pair of shoes, which is called the Kate. This is another one of Louboutin's classic styles, but this is in a seasonal pattern. It's kind of like a black snake skin. I don't know how well my camera's picking this up because it desperately wants to find my face. This is like a black snake skin with the 100-inch or the 100 millimeter stiletto, and it's just really sexy. And it's also kind of got a feel that you could wear with jeans. You could kind of dress it down so you could still have like a sexy pump, but you know, it doesn't have to go with like an evening gown or a cocktail dress. It could go with something a little bit more casual, a little bit more dressed down. And there they were sitting all by their lonesomes, unloved, on the sale bench for like $565. It was like $300. It was a little over $300 discount. So when you're used to paying retail price for Christian Louboutin, which is generally about $8.95, and you can get a pair of heels for a little over $500, basically, if you're me, you just don't have a choice in the matter. It's just like, well, shit. Guess we're gonna have to go ahead and get those. So that night, I went ahead and threw those into the purchase. So we spent another $1,500 on Christian Louboutin shoes, like a week, maybe not even. I don't know, maybe a week or so after the initial blow up, where we got the Hermes and the Arizas. That night, I go home, and we're talking about how great Emma was. She had informed us about a bunch of things about the brand that we had not heard from our other client advisors. And I start looking, of course. Now I've checked two major boxes. The Hot Chicks are in the bag. We've got a Kate now. And so I'm feeling a little bit of the crash. You know, I'm feeling a little bit of the downswing, and it's like, you know, what's next? Well, I happen to have also purchased Christian Louboutin shoes. I was actually the first person in the house to buy the brand. Let me get another sip. I fell in love with Christian Louboutin because he makes really cool men's shoes that you can be straight and wear. Nothing against the gay people in the audience. I just happen to be a straight man, and I want to wear clothing that is exciting and fun, but doesn't paint me into a corner that I don't feel fits my personality. And so, and maybe I failed. You guys can be the judge of that. But I decided that I wanted to have a nice pair of gym shoes, is where this started. My wife, I bought a pair of these amazing Gucci gym shoes. Her gym shoes are from Gucci. They're covered in like little crystals, and they're black mesh see-through. They're in the video that I'll post at the end of this if somebody's actually still listening to this and cares. So the first pair of Christian Louboutin shoes that I bought were, I can't remember if these are called Loubi Sharks or Nastro Sharks. I typically wear to the gym either navy blue gym pants and a navy blue shirt with my navy blue Trenbolone hat. I like to be monochromatic, or I like to wear like navy blue and red, black and red, some kind of contrast like that. So I always match my shoes. I am gay, aren't I? Damn. There's just no way of saying this and not sounding gay. These are the Loubi Sharks. Okay? So this is the pair of gym shoes that I picked out. For those of you who are from my generation, you may notice that they have I'm trying to reach my screen. They have a bit of a Rydell look. Do you remember the Rydell baseball shoes back in the day that had this pattern on the side of them? That's kind of what I thought of when I first saw them. But basically, I just thought they were killer gym shoes because they're super comfortable. They've got these crazy shark teeth print on the bottom. And it was just something fun. Like I actually, honestly, I'm going to piss off half my audience when I say this. I actually absolutely, totally and completely despise the Nike brand. I don't own a single pair of Nike shoes. I will probably never buy anything ever from Nike. I'm not getting into the reasons why. I just fucking think that Nike is like the single least interesting shoe ever made. I know that there are tons of men in the world that have closets full of Nikes. They buy Nikes and leave them in the box and never open them because they're Jordan this or Jordan that, or maybe it's because I fucking hate the NBA with a raging passion. And so I don't care one lick about Michael Jordan or LeBron James or anything to do with basketball at all, period. I will probably never own a pair of Nikes. When I buy like what I consider to be reasonably priced athletic shoes, I buy exclusively Adidas. Figure it out. So these were the first pair of Louboutins that I bought. The Nastro Shark in blue, white, and red to go with my blue, white, and red gym attire because obviously I like to match. Well, the problem was no sooner did I get the blue, white, and red Christian Louboutin shoes home, then I felt really uncomfortable going to the gym in my my plain old, I think I had Pumas, maybe Adidas or Pumas, like black gym shoes. So I usually wear like a black stringer top, black gym pants, my black MAGA hat or a red hat. And so, of course, I started shopping on Christian Louboutin's website and found these, which might be my favorite tennis shoes ever, if you can call them that. This is also one of the Loubi Sharks. I forget, I don't know the exact, I guess I should mention, these Nastro Sharks, when I bought them, I think were like $1,250. So his gym shoes, like, be prepared. Like, if you're gonna buy Christian Louboutin men's shoes, you're gonna pay a lot of money. Let's see. So these are called the Sharky Lube. What did I just do? These are called Sharky Lube SP Spikes. These are still currently available for the very economical price of $1,195. These are my black and red Christian Louboutin Sharky Lube SP Spikes. If you notice on the back, they've got like all these like little spikes on the end, and then they've got the shark teeth, and there's no laces. Your feet just slip in, which I wish I wish the blue ones came like that. These are probably, and contrary to the women's shoes, these Christian Louboutin gym shoes, or whatever you want to call them, these are some of the most comfortable shoes I have ever worn. This shoe right here is at least a year old. It has been worn a ton, and to my eye, it still looks brand new. When you pay $1,200 for a Christian Louboutin shoe, I mean, this is the sole. This is the sole after wearing it for, I think, over a year now. I mean, they're in phenomenal condition, and I'm not like jumping over puddles and going out of my way to try to protect them. They have just held up incredibly well. I have absolutely zero regrets. I would recommend any man who cares about sports shoes. If you're the kind of guy who buys the $230 stupid Air Jordans or whatever, get your ass out of the ghetto, get into Christian Louboutin, get this pair of shoes right here. You will not regret it. Buying a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes will change the way you view shoes. You will burn every pair of Nikes you have. You will be humiliated to put them on your feet. So that's where my adventure into Christian Louboutin began. And then once I got so in love with the brand, I decided to start buying men's dress shoes. So the first pair of men's dress shoes that I bought, because I needed a pair of blue. I didn't have anything blue. I already had a bunch of shoes that I used to buy. My favorite brand before Christian Louboutin was Stacy Adams. So I had a bunch of Stacy Adams. I had great. I still love. He makes great shoes. They're just not luxury level shoes. And so I just needed a pair of navy blue shoes. Nothing fancy, just something to wear to work. Something to where I could wear in front of my customers that would be nice, but not too flashy, because I don't want to dress above my customers. I don't want to dress above my clientele. And I'm going to be walking through factories and warehouses and stuff. And so this is one of their male classics. It's called the Grego. This is a navy blue suede. It's suede here. I'm not sure what texture, what kind of pattern that is. And then it's got like a little black on the toe box. I've got red sole protectors on that I got to get rid of. We're going to send these off to Paris and have the bottoms refinished. These are incredibly comfortable. Again, I have been very fortunate with Christian Louboutin in their men's shoes. These are the oldest pair of Christian Louboutin shoes that I have. And again, they are showing little to no signs of wear. I've worn these all over DFW, in warehouses all over the place, and they have held up phenomenally well. So I know that the order is really completely irrelevant. When I bought my wife the Arizas, which is what started this most recent backsliding event, there was also a fourth purchase that I forgot to mention. So I bought my wife it doesn't matter. I found this pair of shoes on the website. These are also Gregos, but this is a brand new shoe that just came out from Christian Louboutin, and it's the Grego, but with a black and blue jacquard finish. These are some of my favorite shoes that I have ever seen. They look like, this is what I imagine these shoes to be. What I imagine these shoes to be is like the alpha predator of the business world. Because they've got kind of like a tiger stripe pattern, but it's black and blue. So it's like, you know, black and blue are basically professional colors. So I bought these because they go great with a pair of black pants and a blue dress shirt or a blue polo, which is primarily what I wear to work every single day. I have several different shades of blue polos, and I wear black pants. And so usually, so I bought these because they're multi-purpose. So I can wear them with black, I can wear them with blue. I feel like these are the most gangster like sales shoes you could possibly get. It's just like the alpha fucking lion of the sales world coming to close business in the black and blue tiger stripe Gregos from Christian Louboutin. I cannot thank this man enough. When he started his brand back in like 92 or 93, he got into business purely to make women's shoes. And there's some European famous person. His name starts with an M, and it's like Madonna. It's like a one-word name. I have no idea who he is. I should have looked it up before I made this video. But this particular celebrity in the UK, if I remember correctly, went to Christian Louboutin and said, would you make me, I want to wear your brand. Would you make me some shoes? And Christian Louboutin did. And then I think it was like 2003 or 2007 that he launched his men's version. That's why I love Chanel products. I would love to wear them myself. I wear Chanel cologne, but they don't make men's shoes. Coco completely screwed us men on shoe products. And so instead, I buy Christian Louboutin. So those are my Christian Louboutin Jacquard shoes. And then after I met Emma, and we came home that night and we were talking about what a great experience we had, and I had just checked all these boxes for my wife, and I'd bought all the pairs of shoes that I wanted for her. I was in the throes of the come down, the crash following the addiction purchases. So I went back onto the Christian Louboutin website to find me a pair of black shoes, because I'd already figured out that those black and blue ones that I said could be worn with anything, they really look best with black pants and blue shirts, or blue pants and like blue shirts. But I have like black shirts I have black pants that I wear with red shirts, and I have black pants that I wear with cream and like a turquoise color, and they clash with the navy in those Jacquard shoes. So I realized that what I had to add to the collection was a more toned down, solid black shoe. For those of you who don't know about men's fashion, the Jacquard shoe here is an Oxford. Okay, and an Oxford shoe is typically what you wear in a more formal setting. These are much more formal looking shoes, and so it's not the kind of thing you want to wear every day at work. It's really for a much more formal environment. If you want to wear a dress shoe that is a little bit more, that you can dress down a little bit, it's a little bit more casual, then you go with a derby. And so I found these brand new, of course, from Christian Louboutin, called the Grave Derby. This is the shoe that I just had a massive blow up on. Try to get that to focus. There's a lot of detail. You can see right there on the top of the shoe. There's a tremendous amount of detail in this shoe, and what makes it so special is that most derby shoes, being that they're designed to be a more classic look, a more casual look, most of them are very boring. And so if you want to have something, that you can kind of multi-purpose, that you can kind of dress up or dress down, you've got to have some kind of styling, even though it's actually technically a more classic shoe or a more casual shoe. And the Louboutin Grave Derby checks all of those boxes. The problem is And this is where I realized that I was in massive trouble. By this point, I've lost track of the amount of money I've spent on these shoes. I had just got through, I mean, we're into the several $1,000s in a very short period of time. And I was losing control. This is when I realized these shoes that I just showed you, the Christian Louboutin Grave Derby, are $1,345 a pair. These are not comfortable shoes to wear, unfortunately. I think it's because they're very thick. They're very thick leather. I think this is the kind of shoe that I'm going to have to break in. I absolutely love them now that I own them. I have zero regrets. One of the things is that this is the first pair of Christian Louboutin shoes that my wife and I, either of us, have that come with the new Forever sole. So this sole right here will stay red and basically good looking forever. I have already walked many miles in these shoes, and you can see that you can barely see any wear on the bottom of the shoe. I have walked through a powder coating plant, across gravel, dirt, rocks. I mean, you name it, any kind of nasty environment that you could possibly walk in. I have walked in the sole of this shoe, and it is maintaining the shine and the red signature color that Christian Louboutin is known for. So I'm already very excited about the quality that they are putting into the newer models with the Forever sole. And we will definitely be adding that to every single one of the pairs of shoes that we own. So that was when I made that purchase, that was not one of the feel-good purchases that I'm talking about. That was one of the purchases that I made where I knew that I was in the depths of a depraved addiction, because I had just spent $1,345 for a pair of shoes. That was finally the part where I was like, okay, there is no justifying this. Yeah, I am not a wealthy enough man to be affording this, to be spending this kind of money on shoes. I don't even know what the total amount over here is, but it's I'm guessing approaching $10,000. It's probably more than $10,000 in shoes total between her pairs and my pairs, all of which have been purchased within the last year. And this is where I realized that this was beyond just kind of fun and games, and that this was had developed into a sickness. And so what do you do when you realize that you're in the throes of a sickness? Well, first of all, you have to get out of the mall. And before I was able to get out of the mall, I mean, there we are. You know, I just spent $1,345 on a pair of Grave Derby Christian Louboutin shoes. And what we had done, one of the reasons we had gone back up to visit Emma, and I wanted to look at these shoes because I found them online, and I wanted to make sure that they looked as good in real life as they look online. One of my biggest complaints about Christian Louboutin shoes, they're very narrow. And so I have a very big upper body, and I feel like my feet look too small in the shoes. This is probably just an idiot thing that I imagine to be true. I don't know. Maybe I'll take some pictures and you guys can determine. But they are very narrow shoes. They don't look big on your feet. And so I wanted to see how they would feel. And while I was there, when you spend $1,345 on a pair of shoes, when you really don't have the money to spend, it's kind of, you kind of are in this like fuck it phase. And so we had brought my wife's pink Chanel purse with us so we could try to match it in store to the pair of pink Hot Chicks that she had tried on and loved. And so we took the purse over there, and lo and behold, in reality, it was a perfect match. The color match was about as good as you could get. The only difference is that the shoe is patent leather, and the purse is obviously, you know, leather purse. It doesn't have that same that glossy sheen to it. And so after buying the $1,345 Grave Derbies, we went ahead and ordered these pink, bright pink Hot Chicks. So this is the Christian Louboutin Hot Chick, in this bright, beautiful pink that matches my wife's pink Chanel purse. These are the shoes that she was wearing tonight that were absolutely head turners. This was the shoe that the girl was like, oh my God, look at those heels. She just looks amazingly sexy in them. They accentuate her calves phenomenally well. And it has just been the greatest pleasure of my life to be a patron of this this gentleman's product. I think Christian Louboutin has absolutely cornered the market on not only women's shoes but men's shoes. They feel remarkable to wear. They're not always comfortable, and my wife will be the first to tell you. But if you look up Christian Louboutin quotes, he has been quoted many times as saying that beauty is, you know, there's pain in beauty, basically. I don't remember the exact quote, but he designed his shoes to be the sexiest looking, you know, hottest thing out there, and they are definitely that. I cannot think of another brand that even comes close. There's products from Gucci that we really like, but so today, after having this complete blow up, which again, I'm not even going to sit, I don't even want to do the math on where we're at financially. But basically, over the past a couple of weeks, we've purchased 2, 4, like 6 pairs of Christian Louboutin shoes in about 2 weeks' time, with prices ranging from $8.95 to $13.45. So figure it out. Someone help me. I have completely lost my mind. So there you have it. Like I said, I don't know why I'm even making this video. I honestly don't know what to do. After we had this purchase, my wife and I had agreed that there was going to be no more, that we're going, you know, we're running up credit cards too fast. And so we go have lunch, and before leaving the mall, I said, hey, do me one more favor. And she's like, no, we're not buying any more shoes. And I was like, no, I promise we're not going to buy any more shoes. I just have a list of like 10 different shoes, or like 8 different shoes that I really think that you would look good in, and I might want to buy for you at a future time. So since we're here, since Emma's here, why don't we go have you try on all of these different styles so that we can figure out what your size is. That way, if I ever get a wild hair to buy you a gift, I'll already know exactly what size you need, and I can just go to Emma and order them or come in and pick them up, and then I can actually surprise you with a gift, which we never get to do because we're always having to go, you know, either make sure she likes it or make sure it fits. So let's just see how this works? Let's just get all of the bedding out of the way. And so now I literally have a bucket list of like 8 pairs of shoes in descending order of like these first, then these, like in an order of how much she likes them. I have a list of like 8 different shoes in the exact sizes to buy them in for her. So what I had hoped was going to be some kind of return to normalcy, some kind of return to sanity, has actually become probably just a gateway to, I don't even know at this point. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I've got to get a grip somehow, but I've been saying that about gear for how long? I mean, that's the thing. This shoe shopping for me is just like every time I tell you guys, I'm going to quit doing the trend, I'm going to lower all the doses, I'm going to go on a cruise, I'm just going to lay back and chill for a while. I've pushed myself too far. It's like I get a week or 2 down the road from a purchase and I just start getting sick. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop imagining it. I'll have dreams about it. I keep seeing her in a particular dress with a particular pair, and then I literally look at the Christian Louboutin website as if I was looking at pornography. Like, I will just sit there and routinely throughout the day bring up the website and just admire a pair of shoes. Sometimes I'll even pick a pair of shoes and I will punch that name in to the search engine and then click images and see if I can find someone else who's already bought the shoes and is wearing them in public somewhere to get a different feel for what they would actually look like in reality. Total irreparable sickness. But that's what you guys like, right? Brutal honesty. So there you go. That is what absolute, out of control, addictive personality looks like in a very atypical context. I'm sure most everybody knows somebody who's a alcoholic, a drug addict, a gambling addict, you know, somebody who probably goes to Vegas or blows their savings on slot machines or whatever. I, for some unknowable reason, am a Christian Louboutin luxury goods purchasing total lunatic. And I guess at a bare minimum, we're going to be the best dressed homeless people you have ever seen at some point standing on a corner. As always, there you have it. We'll see you on the next one.